Imagine sending a $10,000 check to pay the IRS, your tax bill that you owe, and then you realize that that money never made it to the IRS. This is something that's happening right now. And what's even worse is the bank's response to this madness. You have to pay attention to this. If you have a bank account, if you have a debit card or a credit card, pay attention because this could happen to you.
I wrote exactly $10,000 with a line.
After writing a 5-figure check to the IRS, Todd, who asked us not to use his last name for privacy reasons, checked online to make sure it was cash.
And it wasn't until months later when we did our actual tax return for 2024 where they sent us a letter saying we never received that estimated payment.
So this is ridiculous. Now, I have to tell you about this scammer because scammers have figured out a completely new way to drain your bank account, and most of the time you won't even know it. So this guy from California, Todd, he wrote a $10,000 check. He was paying his quarterly taxes and didn't even give it a second thought before he wrote the check. So what happened was now this is very important. I'm going to save this for later. He uses Wells Fargo. More about that later. He writes the check, he checks his bank account, and the check has been cashed. So in his eyes, everything is just perfect, right? But then something very interesting happens. A few months later, he gets a letter from the IRS saying that they didn't get the payment from him, which is weird because he's already checked his account and confirmed that it's been paid. But when he looked into the details of this, he saw something very, very sinister. Check this out.
A woman's name that was unfamiliar to Todd. The dollar amount stayed the same, but had been rewritten, and the memo line was altered as well.
Yes, someone, I don't know if it was this lady, we don't know, but someone altered the check. This is called check washing. It's also called check cooking. What the scammers do is they take these checks and they wash them with antifreeze, with chemicals from nail polish remover, and then they rewrite the values on the check, and then they represent them to get the full value of the check. Now, here is the part that is a little nerve-wracking here. You would think that the bank would actually give you your money back, but not at all. Some of the cases, it depends on specifically what happens. And in this case, the bank's response is just, you got to hear it. You got to hear the bank's response.
Todd filed a fraud claim, but because more than 30 days had passed since the check was cashed, Wells Fargo would not reimburse him. Telling CBS News California investigates, "We never want to see anyone experience a financial scam or fraud. We continue to raise awareness to help our customers avoid, detect, and quickly report incidents."
Now look at this. I want you to notice this. The bank is making it out to be Todd's fault when they were the one that allowed this process to happen in the cash being scammed. So ultimately, like I've always said, you have to take care of you because the bank is not going to look out for your interests. By the way, more than, 50% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. This is the perfect time for you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing, but it brings tremendous value to the channel and helps us continue to grow. Now, what I want to do is break down exactly how this is happening so you can avoid this. This is really important, especially around the holiday times where people like to send checks in the mail, because people will tell you when you are sending, you want to send someone a cash gift or something, don't send cash, don't send a money order. Yeah, definitely don't send a money order. That's as good as cash, right? But they tell you to put a check in the mail, and that's where this is happening. Surprisingly enough, Todd, he was nervous about this from the get-go, so he actually drove to the post office and went in directly into the post office and mailed the letter there. Now, here is the big twist. I made a video a couple months ago specifically talking about that how there is a syndicate of USPS employees that have gotten together and they steal people's mail. They steal debit cards, they steal credit cards, packages, everything. Everything. So with that being said, here's what you can do to protect yourself. I'm going to start at the top because let's just be clear. If you don't write the checks, you eliminate the risk. Writing checks these days is really a bad idea. That's flat out number one way to eliminate that risk. Don't write the check. And if you do, hand it directly to the person and they take it directly to the bank. You can't have the middleman like the USPS system involved in your check cashing process. Number 3, follow the money. The reason why Todd was not able to get his money back is because the time before the fraud claim was 30 minutes. Too much time had expired. And because he saw that the check was cashed, he thought that it was good, but that's not the case. You got to follow the money and actually inspect who cashed the check. That way he could have reported it and maybe Wells Fargo would have gave him the money back. So that's really all that you can do in this case. It's very tough, very tough. I personally like the protection of credit cards. Debit cards, it's very hard. Debit cards and checks, it's very hard to get your money back with those things. But this way, at least there's an option for you to maybe get your money back. So that's it for this video. I just had to get that out there. Because holiday season, people are mailing checks to grandchildren. My grandpa used to send checks in the mail to me and my brother and my sister all the time. And that is a good way to get your bank account drained. Because in this case, because the amount was so high, they just cashed the amount. But typically what they will do is when they wash these checks, they will change the amount to increase the value of that check, which could be detrimental to your bank account, especially around the holiday seasons. You don't need that. Don't nobody need that. With that being said, if you want to stay ahead of the scammers and learn all the new tricks that they are up to, subscribe to that channel so that you are notified every single week. Hit that red bell so you never miss out on another scam alert. I'm Boyd Clues, also known as Sherlock Homie. I will see you in the next one. Peace.